I took a risk, honestly. Always wanted to have kids, but I'm not even dating right now. There's no husband in mind at all. Y'all know I thought I was gonna marry. Or when I, God bless America. Jesus, what? What is in my body? Liquid coming out of your ass? Who wants to feel that? Oh no, my birthday is March 26th, so y'all just start telling me happy birthday now. My birthday is actually the entire month of March. I hope you all are well and feeling even better. Cheers to another episode. I was gonna say of my color-coded juicing series. That's what I always want to say right away, but that's absolutely not it. For those of you who don't know, in December I had a robotic laparoscopy to have a cyst, a dermoid cyst, removed from my ovary. The first video was a vlog of the surgery. I was updating you all in real time, but I didn't necessarily speak throughout the entire video because the majority of the video is surgery and recovery time. And listen, I underestimated the soreness. Like, oh, I cannot tell you how much I underestimated that soreness. Like, to literally not be able to crunch down, bend, twist, any of that is just still so mind-blowing to me. So anyhow, part one is the vlog. If you have not watched part one yet, the link will be in the description. Part two is me talking to you all directly, a story time, I should say. And this, I'll be giving you all a timeline of when I felt the first symptom, all the way into now, me, you know, feeling great, looking fine, feeling sexy, having the time of my life, and all that jazz, you know. And I'll be able to provide you all with the details that were not mentioned or included in part one of the series. And before I even decided to create a 3-part series, oh, really quickly, part 3 will be frequently asked questions that I received through social media. Anyhow, before I decided to make this into a 3-part series, I actually was just gonna do one video, but as I was creating the video and talking to you guys and trying to figure out, okay, I'll plug this part of the vlog here and this part there. Listen, that would have easily been like a 2-hour video. And you know who's not gonna edit a 2-hour video? Jazzy baby. The only time I enjoy editing a long vlog is if it's a traveling vlog. And even with that, I already know, like, my next travel vlog, I'm gonna do that differently, try really hard to piece by day. But yeah, 2-hour vlog, I was like, ain't no way. So I said, you know what? I vlogged the entire journey. Bong, that's gonna be one video. Second video, let's get into details. Third video, I'm going to pull out questions that I received on social media. So enjoy the video and let's get to it. And I wrote everything down. I have my outline together because I'm not trying to get distracted, and I'm not trying to go over an hour of filming this because I'm not gonna do a lot of editing at all. So if you see some choppy parts, it's because I'm just, you know, pulling out fluff, and I just want to get straight to it. So enjoy. Alrighty, so we're starting at the beginning. My first symptom. I have the exact dates and everything, you guys. So let's see. Okay, April 5th of 2023 is when I felt the first symptom of the cyst, but I actually had no idea. It was early morning. I was getting ready to travel. Delta sent me an alert to my phone. Hey, Jazzy baby, well, what is it? Check your bag for free. So I was like, oh, let me change my suitcase so I can add a few extra things in there for my nieces. So I picked up my suitcase, packed suitcase, and I literally chunked it to the right side. And thinking back to it, lifting a packed suitcase that I was going to unpack to put into another suitcase, just it wasn't logical because I needed to still go to that suitcase. Anyhow, so I threw that, and a few minutes later, I felt a light throb under my rib. So I was like, oh damn, why did I throw that suitcase? Like, ugh. So that's what happened. Throughout the day, it did pain me. In the airport, I couldn't hold my purse on this side because I was like, oh, there's too much pressure over there. Let me switch here, and I would adjust so I can sit comfortably. But I just thought I hurt my rib again because a few months prior, I had a light injury. And so I was like, oh, Jazzy baby, there you go. You did it again. So anything of it. So I get to my destination, which was visiting my parents, and I just iced. I used the ice packet consistently throughout the day. Even at night, I would lay on the opposite side so the ice packet could just be right there on my side. The pain started decreasing, so I thought nothing of it, and it only took about 3 to 4 days, and I was perfectly fine. There was nothing else. So I was like, oh yeah, light sprain, like no biggie. That was it. Now, fast forward about, 4 weeks later, this one morning, I have a queen size bed, right? So that morning I was sleeping on the left side. I woke up for whatever reason, I felt like a freaking ninja, and I decided to hop out of bed, but onto the right side. So, you know, you sleep here, you would get out of the bed on that side. No, I slept here. I decided to hop out of the bed and got out of bed on the right hand side. When I went to the bathroom, I was like, what the hell did you do that, Jazzy baby? I had no idea. So later that day, I felt the throb again. I was like, what did I do? And I was like, oh, I hopped out of bed like a freaking ninja. That's why I was like, girl, why did you do that? You just pulled that little side again. So I got my ice packet. It was gone within 3 days. Again, no issue, right? No biggie. So the following month, nothing. Perfectly fine. Nothing at all. I honestly didn't even think about it until the following month when I felt that throb again. So I took a moment to think about any odd hops I did, if I threw anything, if I may have accidentally injured myself during yoga. It was none of that at all. This time, Jazzy baby didn't do anything that was just too extreme. She didn't injure herself. She didn't bump into anything. So the next duty was for me to check my calendar, because anytime I feel something odd in my body or something I've never felt before, I always take note of that in my phone under the notes app or the calendar. So I go to my calendar. The common denominator was my freaking period. Each time I marked the pain, it was during the week of my period. So honestly, my initial reaction was like, oh gosh, can I have kids? That was my immediate reaction, because, you know, period, that's our reproductive organs and reproductive system, fertility. This is when your egg is being released, your body is cleansing itself. So I'm like, oh my God, something's happening, but I don't know what at all. So coincidentally, my annual with my PCP was, I think, like the following week or a week and a half. Let me see the date here. That would take us to June. Yeah. So this is at the end of June. And so my visit with my PCP was in the next couple of weeks for July 23rd. I have those dates off. No, when I felt the ache, it was June 21st. Check the calendar. Yeah. So my visit with my PCP was within the next few weeks, July 23rd. So I was like, you know what? The pain is, you know, diminishing again. So I can wait a week and a half or a couple of days or whatever it was. I have those dates wrong there, but just know it wasn't far apart. It definitely wasn't more than 4 weeks apart from me feeling the pain, and my already scheduled appointment with my PCP was like very close. So yeah, so July 23rd was my visit to my PCP. I explained everything to him. He said, okay, we'll check everything out. Since you can't visit your gynecologist yet, I'll get into that in a bit. Since you can't visit your gynecologist yet, I'm gonna do everything on my end, send you to a radiologist, have an ultrasound, and make sure we're all set there. That was, my appointment with my radiologist was August 11th. The results came back clear. And oh, by the way, I've never gone to a freaking radiologist before, but when I tell you, I couldn't have imagined a sexier radiologist's office. So if you're in South Florida, you need a radiologist, let me know in the comments, or you can contact me privately through my website, xojrwellness.com/contact, and I will send you the exact location. I highly recommend. Everyone there was extremely kind. It was super clean there. There was a whole vibe. They had the diffuser going. They had the purple and blue lights in there. I was like, okay, no, that's right. Let me make some content in here. So it was great. It was like, I was like, forgot I was here for an actual possible issue, because I was like, okay, is this how radiologists are? Anyhow, so that went really well. Oh, and also the day I went to the radiologist, August 11th, is also the day my period started. So I was excited. I was like, hell yeah, like find out what it is, but it came back clear. So I was like, okay. Now, when I received my radiologist results, I was 30% excited, and the remaining 70% was pure concerned, because now, okay, without a doubt, this is something going on with your reproductive system. So I called my parents, I talked to them. They were the first two to know about anything that was happening. And I was crying because everyone knows I want to have kids. I've always wanted to have kids, but I've also always wanted to get married first. Considering I'm not even dating right now, there's no husband in mind at all either. You know, y'all know I thought I was gonna marry. Or but I ain't getting all that. But, you know, shout out, God bless America. Anyhow, I'm clearly healed from that, but I'm clearly healed from that. Let's get to it. So everyone knows I've always wanted to have kids. I've always wanted to be a mom, but I've also always said I want to be married first. I want to have my child with my man who I'm in love with and living happily ever after with, you know? So I'm like, okay, I have to figure out what's going on. Now, let me get to why I was not able to see my gynecologist right away, okay? So this takes us to, let's see, I received my radiologist results, August, what's 7 days after that? Okay, August 18th, 16th, somewhere right there, okay? I did not see my gynecologist until October 12th. I know, but hear me out. If you're in South Florida, actually, it would be throughout the state of Florida. If you're a woman in the state of Florida, you are well aware of the huge contract issue with Florida Women's Care and different insurance companies, okay? The issue was something about their contract payments being too high. I don't know, it's a financial issue, and it affected a lot of people. Now listen, could I have gone to a different gynecologist? Abso-freaking-lutely. I had countless options to go by, but this is the first issue I was experiencing with my reproductive system. I've had my gynecologist as an adult for 7 years, because my gynecologist prior is my mom's gynecologist, because obviously, you know, as a teenager, you have your gynecologist, at least I did, and I wanted the same gynecologist she had. And as long as I could stay on my parents' insurance, I definitely did. It was like, what's up? So as an adult, I had to find my own gynecologist, and he was my first, and he is still my gynecologist till this day. So right away, I was like, oh no, like I'm gonna dive into this Florida Women's Care, research everything that's going on. Thankfully, they sent out an alert, hey, we all came to a solution. The new contracts will be signed and valid starting October 7th or something like that. So I immediately called my gynecologist's office, got my appointment scheduled for the 12th, because there was no way I was going to a new gynecologist about this at all. And I know if you're feeling something in your body, I will tell you don't wait at all. But I took a risk, honestly. I did my calculations. I said, okay, I'm feeling this pain 3 to 4 times per month during my cycle. My cycle has never been long. It has never been insanely heavy. I can push this for a month and a half. I can, and that's what I did, because I know who I'm comfortable with. I know he knows my body. He has all of my history or results, and I'm sure if I was in excruciating pain, I would have for sure gone to a different gynecologist. But I say, you know what? It's just a throb. The discomfort is minor. I can thug it out, and I absolutely will. So, do I recommend you do that if you have an issue? I don't, unless your doctor is top tier like mine. And again, ladies, if you live in South Florida and you need a new gynecologist, you're looking for a gynecologist for your daughter, niece, what is it called? Cousin, anyone, your grandmother, your mother, because we all super young these days. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Contact me privately through my website, xoJRwellness.com/contact, because listen, my medical team, they are great. My OBGYN, he is a man, absolutely. I've always had male gynecologists. My mom's gynecologist was a male, and she told me, she said, listen, my gynecologist is a male, but if you want a female, there is a female doctor here. So what you got? I was like, nah, he's your gynecologist, he's gonna be mine too. And so I've always been comfortable with a male gynecologist. I've had a female and just, sidetracked. I tried a female gynecologist once, and I mean once. What I did not like, oh, I felt that before too with don't do this. Don't tell me you too. Like, no, my experience is my experience. So from then on, I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm going back to a man. Like, I'm going back to a man. I get very sexist in certain things. I would be the first person to say it. And you know, in many ways, a lot of us are sexist, and I'm getting too sidetracked. Let's go back. Okay, so it's October 12th, right? It's October 12th. That was my appointment date for my annual pap smear. And so went in, so happy to see everyone. I was like, you guys, there's no way I was gonna go to a new gynecologist. And they were all cracking up. They said, it's absolutely okay. Okay, we're so happy to see you. Anyhow, so during my pap smear, you know, he asked the standard questions. Have you been feeling? Any changes going on? Are you sexually active? Do you have a new partner? All the things. Are we doing all the STD tests? Ladies, I always do everything annually. Pap smear and STD test. Listen, I know pap smears are supposed to be what, every like 3 years or something like that, but I do mine annually because when pap smear, you're checking for cancerous cells and any changes with your cervix. That can happen at any time. And if you follow me on social media, I'm a huge advocate of having health checks annually. So that's why I do it. And two, I have the insurance to do so. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, in case you're curious. Oh, and I always do my STD test as well. Full panel, baby. Test me out. Even like I haven't been sexually active in what, 2 years now. I was like, nope, go ahead and do it. I mentally, it just soothes me, you know? So can't be too safe at all. Cause I'm like, anything like, I know who to go to. Okay, let me get sidetracked again. Hold on. Okay, oh, y'all know how I get. So let's see, where are we? Mark that off. Okay, right. So I told my gynecologist about what's going on. He said, okay, well, hang out for a bit. We can go to the back, get you an ultrasound, see what's going on. So make sure I'm not missing any details for you all. Bop, bop, bop. Okay, so I had the ultrasound, then we went into his office to review everything. Now, although he couldn't confirm it was a cyst or the type of cyst until he sent everything to the lab to have checked, double checked, and confirmed, he gave me what if scenarios, and I'm so thankful that he did that because he knows me so well. He says something, I'm like, and he's like, give me a second, relax a little, it's okay. I'm like, my eyes get so huge. So yeah, so after the ultrasound, so he gave me what if scenarios, and I was so thankful for that because it really calmed me mentally for him to do that, because you know, anytime there's an issue with us, I think there's always a second that we think it's the first person that this could happen to, or oh my God, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? You know, so my gynecologist explaining the what if scenarios were great. So he said, I'm pretty sure this is a cyst, but again, I can't, you know, give you the official confirmation until everything comes back from the lab. He said, if this is a cyst, the surgery, if you want it removed, will have to be a laparoscopy. He had me stand up. He showed me where the incisions would be. He explained the size of the incisions. And then he got to the scary part. For me, he would not be the surgeon. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you, I know. He goes, I know, but I stopped doing these surgeries 5 years ago, but I have great surgeons that I can outsource to you and everything will go smoothly, I promise. So I was like, huh, okay. So he explained that about the cyst. We looked at the size of the cyst. It was 4 centimeters. And like I told y'all, my eyes get big and I was like, oh my God, that's huge. And he's like, I would never tell you how to feel. That's not huge. I was like, that's 4 centimeters. It shouldn't be there at all. He goes, I know, but trust me. And to research that I did on my own on like TikTok, Google, listen, 4 centimeters, that was not a large cyst. Like there are women who have 11 centimeter cyst, you guys. I even saw it 17 centimeters, 10 centimeters, and they didn't say anything. And I was just like, what? They didn't say anything until it got so large and they couldn't ignore it anymore. I was just like, what the heck? So anyhow, he explained it all to me. He explained the types of cysts. If it's a dermoid cyst, we'll have to do this. And the other type of cyst was it starts with an H, a hemo. I'm gonna research it and put it here on the screen. There's another type of cyst. But the cyst that I had was a dermoid cyst. The dermoid cysts, those are some pretty talented cysts there, okay? They're much heavier than the other cysts. They can grow hair, teeth, muscles, a skull. I was sitting there like, Jesus, what? Like, what is in my body? What is happening? And those cysts are much heavier and they can't go away on its own, so they have to be removed surgically. And whether it would, you know, decrease inside on its own, I was set on having this removed surgically because 18 years of my life, Jazzy baby had never had a painful period. I can't even tell you how like cramps feel. Like, have I had those back aches and I'm like, oh my God, I need to stretch my back? Absolutely. But for the women who have to get in, you know, fetal position, oh my God, I have cramps. I can't walk today. I was always like, I think periods are supposed to be painful like that, you guys. Like, you know, but I also didn't always feel comfortable saying that to just anyone simply because I'd never experienced that. So I'm like, I don't know. I guess sweet baby Jesus just spared me. But I'll also slide in, have you checked with your gynecologist about how painful your periods are, you know? And so, and just from this experience and learning more and learning about fibroids as well, it's a commonality that shouldn't be. Periods are not supposed to cause you excruciating pain. So if you're watching this and you've experienced those pains, or your daughter has, any female you know, advise her to go to the gynecologist to have it checked, because in so many women's minds, oh yes, my period, I'm supposed to be pain. You're not supposed to be that painful and that much pain. Like, no. So my periods, it was never super painful at all. Like I told you, the back cramps, the only severe, what should I say, severe symptom of my periods was me getting extremely sleepy. I would get so sleepy, you guys, like to the point where I can't fight the sleepiness. Like, I'm like, oh my God, and I go into my deepest sleep. That's it, you know? So anyhow, when he explained everything, I was like, okay, I for sure want it surgically removed. He said, okay, so we'll wait for everything for the labs to come back, and you know, you and I will chat again. So then we got into the polyps on my cervix. I forgot what the polyps are exactly, but I'll search it here, put it on the screen for you guys. So with the polyps, he explained that he can actually go inside and review my cervix himself for a diagnostic hysteroscopy. Now, listen, he lifted up the tool, and it's a very long, I'll put a photo on the screen. Y'all, again, my eyes got huge. I was like, it's just in your office? He goes, well, this isn't it. This is an example. I said, oh, it's like, this is like a display. It's like, you see how flimsy this thing is? You think I would use this? I was like, well, you're holding it up and you're telling me. I was like, but it's so long, and he explained there's a camera at the tip of this. I will numb your cervix, insert the tool, and look around and see the polyps, see how many there are, remove them if possible. If not, they'll for sure be removed during your surgery of the laparoscopy. So I said, okay, like, cool, no problem. So honestly, you guys, I was so nervous about the diagnostic hysteroscopy because it was happening so quickly. If I'm not mistaken, what, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks after my pap smear, I was having the diagnostic hysteroscopy. So I was like, oh my God, how's this gonna be? I don't know. Oh my God, it's gonna hurt. And it did not hurt. The only things I was not able to eat before, no, I was able to eat before. He actually made sure I ate before. He told me not to work out the day before. Don't work out the morning of or in the evening. Wait at least, 2 days after, because there was bleeding, but not much bleeding at all. But he said, make sure you eat dinner and make sure you eat breakfast. And I was also advised to take 2 ibuprofens. So I absolutely did, which is very different for me because I didn't have any pain pills at home, no Advil, Tylenol. What is it? Bayers, none of that. I didn't have any of that at all. So I was like, okay, take this one. And I even called them the evening before. I said, okay, just to make sure I do this. They said, yep, you got it. We'll see you in the morning. So I took them, and y'all, I didn't feel anything at all. So when I walked inside, he explained, you know, of course you're gonna be here, and I set up the camera and the screen so you can see everything as well. It's like, and so I was able to literally see inside of myself because the camera on the tool inside, and it was like, and I was like, so I was laying there, I couldn't feel a thing at all. And so, you know, I'm seeing them grab the tools and all this, and at a few times my legs started trembling, and he looks up, he said, am I hurting you? Are you okay? Like, he was like concerned. I was like, no, not at all. He goes, your legs? I was like, oh yeah, but every time I see you guys pick up a new tool, like I would look at the screen and then I would look away if I see them get a tool. I said, that's when I get nervous and start shaking. He goes, oh, well, stop looking at my tools. And so then he took photos of the polyps, and I'll put a photo of the polyps here. You won't know what you're looking at, but that's how it looked, because even I was like, oh, that's the polyps, okay. So he put that on my chart just so the surgeon would have everything available as well. And it was quick and easy. You know, they were flushing me with water. I only know that because the assistant was informing me that she was doing that. She goes, it could also be your nerves because, you know, I'm flushing with water. I was like, I don't feel anything at all. And so the bleeding wasn't a lot at all. It was just spotting for like 2 days. Yeah. And then I was running again on the 4th day. I could have ran on the 3rd day, but y'all know, if you know me, you know I like to be super careful. I'm gonna do everything by the, medically especially, everything by the book. What you tell me to do, bet. I'm gonna wait 2 times longer. But yeah, the diagnostic hysteroscopy, I get kind of tongue-tied, as you can tell. The diagnostic hysteroscopy was easy breezy, absolutely, without a doubt. So now let's jump to, I meant to tell you all, I want to get into the timeline that the doctor and I wanted initially. So we're still in October, right? I think I saw my doctor like 3 times in October. So ideally, we wanted the surgery to be before Thanksgiving. And, so let me just get into this little Christmas part really quick, just really quickly. So before I saw my gynecologist, I was in between canceling my annual Christmas Getty because I just had too much on my plate, so much more that I wanted to accomplish. I said, you know what, there's something really big I can take off of my to-do list, and that would be my Christmas Getty. So I decided to do that. So when all of this happened, I went back to see my doctor. He was asking about my schedule for the next following month. Okay, your Christmas party, when is it this year? I was like, actually, I canceled my Christmas party, so I'm completely free for December in case we can't get the surgery completed, you know, before Thanksgiving. And he was like, oh, that's really perfect. So that's the backstory on that. Things happen, you won't even understand why, but you eventually will, and you're like, oh dang, look at that. So sweet baby Jesus is looking out for me. He always looks out for me, but when I tell you sweet baby Jesus was just making decisions for me, he was making all of the decisions for me, okay? So our initial plan that we both wanted was for the surgery to happen before Thanksgiving so I could recover at my parents' home. That was the ideal timeline, but it couldn't, and I was gonna say unfortunately, but it's not unfortunately because everything happened as it should have. So it didn't happen because the surgeon he wanted initially was not available. He was trying to get them to squeeze me in somewhere, and it was just not possible, and I would not have been able to go to the office to meet the surgeon beforehand, and it was the timeline did not match up with how my doctor knew my comfort would be, and I appreciate him so much. And he actually called me while I was away visiting my parents, and he apologized. He's like, I know you've been waiting for this surgery, but I just really want to make sure I get you to a good one where, you know, the schedule is open. And he actually told me one of the surgeons who he's outsourced to before had availability, but he wanted to make sure they'd be able to call me and confirm I'd be able to get fit in before 2024. So I said, okay, no problem. So then he called me back. He told me the doctor's name, confirmed the availability, and he seemed really excited about it. He kept saying he does the robotic surgery, so it'll be the robotic laparoscopy. The incisions are going to be even smaller than what I explained. His office is going to call you on this date to confirm the date of your consultation. I told him you're away right now. You'll be returning on this date, but you're willing to go in the same day. All the things. I was like, oh my God, are you really not doing my surgery? He goes, I know. I hate that I can't do it for you, but it's just a different time and date and medicine, and it's just I can't do them anymore. I stopped them 5 years ago. So I was like, okay, whatevs. So get this, you guys, when he kept mentioning he does about the other surgery, he does the robotic surgeries and this robotic, I say, why do you keep talking about robots? Are you talking to the right person? And then he explained what the robotic surgeries are, and I was like, oh, so of course I have my laptop right there. I typed in Da Vinci, and I was like, robotic laparoscopy, and I'm like, what? It's like the doctors are playing a video game, except the game is us, the bodies. So I was like, what? And so again, he explained again, the incision is going to be half of the size that I explained, and the recovery time is going to be cut in half as well, because the incisions are so specific and, you know, just on point, tiny, very minor cuts. I was like, okay. I researched the doctor and his office like hell. Like, I knew the name of majority of the staff members before I even got there, right? So now we are in. I was away, he called me, bop. Now this is like, I didn't write the exact date, I'm not sure, but I know I returned from traveling December 5th. So it was like a few days after that I went to the surgeon's office to visit. Now, y'all, when I went to the surgeon's office, I was nervous. I was like, all right, I'm meeting the surgeon and all this, an entire new office. Well, what in the world? And I'm going to say this again. If you're in South Florida, you're looking for a gynecologic surgeon, a new doctor, let me know in the comments. Contact me privately on my website, xoJRwellness.com/contact, because I'll send you my entire medical team. Again, they are freaking amazing. So I go to the office to meet the surgeon and his entire team, and let me tell you, they were so welcoming, so comforting, so calm, so informative, so relaxing. It was great. So I go into the room, I get undressed, because the surgeon, he was going to do another ultrasound just to review everything on his own. He explained he had my entire chart, my history, everything from my OBGYN, and he was going to take a look himself. And so he did confirm the size of the cyst. I was able to see the screen and everything, and he told me how the surgery would go, explained everything. He said, I know your doctor already talked to you about this, but I just want to do it again, and everything was the absolute same. And I asked him about the anesthesiologist. Well, anesthesiology, or do I say anesthesia? I asked him about the anesthesia because my concern was, what if I wake up under anesthesia? Because if you guys don't know, there's like 1 in 1,000 or 2,000 patients who actually wake up while they're under anesthesia. So I was like, what if that happens? He was like, I don't think it will, but if it does, they'll just add more anesthesia. Like, you'll be okay. He's interesting. You're going to go into the office. You're going to discuss what you need to do prior to your surgery, the day of, how the anesthesia is going to go. And he goes, trust me, don't worry yourself. Don't freak yourself out. So I said, okay. And he did something at the end. I was like, aw, he gave me a hug. I was like, aw, that was so nice. I was like, at first I was like, oh, is he hugging me? But once we hugged, I was like, you know how a hug feels? It's just like, I felt like he was telling me, it's okay, girl, breathe. And so he said, the next time I see you, it'll be your surgery day. I was like, okay, great. And so now he told me the dates he had available, and the date I wanted to lock in initially, I wasn't able to because the price of the surgery was large. I hadn't met my deductible for a year because, you know, I don't need to go to the doctor every month. I'm not under medications or anything like that. So I had to figure out how we're going to get this finances to take care of, because I wasn't going to do is to get into debt or owe anyone money. I was totally against that. So the office manager, she, you know, explained everything to me, and I said, okay, I know for sure I can't pay this right now, so that surgery date is gonna have to be, like, I don't want to hold it because I know I can't pay that much today. I absolutely know it. And so I had a minor, like, okay, like I did get emotional. I did get emotional in the office, because, you know, when you discuss finances, it's like, oh, well, shit. I'm the type, listen, let's discuss finances first. Finances first, specifics about whatever I'm doing after, okay? Because at the end of the day, finances are going to determine that. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to change your mood. So I did get emotional in there. I allowed myself, you know, a few minutes to get emotional. I always say you're allowed to feel how you feel, because I'm always going to feel how I feel, but I'm never going to sulk in that. I'm gonna, you know, all right, bet, okay, hey, I have a mission, let's accomplish this mission. I'm a point man, absolutely. So I was just like, woo, that amount is drastic. So I told my parents, I was like, okay, the surgery date actually won't be this date because this is the amount that I have to pay. And listen, I got some things to figure out. And so at that time, I was still employed. I was on FMLA from my corporate America job. Well, I wasn't on FMLA yet. I was still employed through corporate America. And I remember, like, I think it was like 2022, the VP put an alert in the company group chat about a new, it's not insurance, but a new benefit they had for their employees, which was, you know, financial assistance with, you know, any last minute issues or unforeseen expenses, medically, with your car, difficulties paying rent or your mortgage, funeral payments, anything associated that you needed assistance with financially. There was a third party that they were working with. So I remembered that. I was like, ooh, but I didn't remember the name of it. So I went into the group chat history, bang, 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 searched John, searched the few words I remembered, and I found it. So I applied through that. It was like Friday evening, like 5:53. I submitted everything. I took pictures. This is the amount. This is my surgeon. This is what I need. This is going. I gave them so much information that I know they probably didn't need. But my goal was to make sure they didn't have to ask me anything. I just need approval. That's all I need. So it was Friday at 5:53. And listen, when I tell you Monday morning at 12:21, I received my approval email, and my next request was to set up my payment account so I can inform them how I wanted to receive the payment. So it could be through PayPal, Zelle, credit card, direct deposit, check in the mail. I said, oh baby, Zelle me, baby, Zelle me, please. And y'all, I received that payment by like 2 o'clock. And the notification came up on my phone. I was like, oh my sweet baby Jesus. I hit up the office. I asked what dates were available. And that same date was available, but it had to be changed. They called me and said, you know what? Sorry, that was my mistake. The nursing assistant actually won't be available that day when the surgeon is out. So we're gonna have to move it to December 26th. They asked if that was okay. I said, absolutely. And that was actually even better because my parents were traveling down to be with me. And so I was like, okay, 26 it is. Plus, that's my birthday number. If you don't know, my birthday is March 26th. So y'all just start telling me happy birthday now. My birthday is actually the entire month of March. Abso-freaking-lutely. So anyhow, I said, no, that's perfectly fine. We can do that. And she's so cute. She goes, are you, the assistant, are you sure? Because, you know, that means the day before Christmas will be Christmas Eve. I was like, yeah, the eve is before. She goes, no, your bowel prep will be Christmas Eve. I was like, oh yeah, no, your bowel prep would be Christmas Day. I was like, just like, but you can eat on Christmas Eve. I was like, oh my gosh. So if you watch my vlog, you already know how that bowel prep was. 6 Ducalox, 8.3 ounces of Miralax, a gallon of water, absolutely no food at all, no solids. And I was okay with that because when they explained the bowel prep to me in the office while we were discussing the finances as well, I was like, well, I'm a juicer, so, you know, I know how to mentally prepare myself. So not, you know, so stressing about not eating won't be a thing for me, won't be a concern for me at all. So on the phone, just like, well, Christmas Day, you won't be able to eat anything. I was like, oh, shoot, well, I'll be home, so it's okay. You know, surgery over everything right now, without a doubt. So, where are we? By the way, when I make my timelines for videos or outlines, I don't necessarily bullet point each thing. I'll write keywords and an asterisk mark, keywords and this, and you know, specific dates here. So I'm trying to see where I am. Okay. Money. Y'all, I wrote dollar signs expensive. I definitely discussed that. So I received a, yeah, get it before 24. Yes. Okay. So yeah, so now we are on Christmas Day. Oh, Christmas Day, right? So I just knew I was gonna be pooping all day. Yeah. I did not poop until like 7 o'clock. No, 6:15 that evening, because that's when I text the office manager and told her, oh my God, I haven't pooped at all. I already took the extra 2 Ducalox pills because I haven't pooped, because on the outline it said if your bowel isn't clear and liquid by 9 p.m., take 2 additional Ducalox pills. I say that word all the time, so I'm gonna just put the correct word up there. So it's 6:15. I move forward with taking the 2 additional pills because baby, Jazzy hasn't pooped at all. So yes, my stool is still solid. Yes, it's not gonna be clear. So it's just like, oh my gosh, and I was so worried. I was concerned. I'm like, what if they won't be able to do the surgery if I don't poop, if my bowels aren't clear? And I called my dad. I was like, I poop more than this on my regular day. My regular day of juicing anything. I poop way more than all of this. You know, I was talking hella shit. And my dad was like, it's okay, it's gonna come and you know, you'll be good for it. But it is strange that you haven't used the bathroom at all. I was like, I know. Like, I had pooped once that day, and that was prior to me drinking the gallon, the Miralax, the Ducalox. It was just my regular morning scheduled poop. I was like, and so he was like, it's okay. So I was talking hella shit, hella concerned, talking to my dad on the phone. And you know what? Listen, he was right. It came and I was like, oh, I gotta talk to you later. And so I went to the bathroom and listen, I was like, ah! It was so disturbing. Like, I knew what it meant when they said, you know, it has to be liquidy, but liquid coming out of your ass, you guys. Who wants to feel that? Like I swear, I'm having flashbacks right now. I'm having flashbacks and I'm like clenching my butt right now because I was like, oh my gosh. Y'all, it's just disgusting. And like, hold on. Okay, I've gathered myself. It was just seriously, hold on, I'm looking for some chapstick. I think I took all my chapstick out. It was seriously just so horrible. That was probably, I'm not going through my bag while I'm on camera with you guys. That was probably the worst part of the surgery. Like, ugh. But let me tell you, my bowels, hold on, let me chew through this. Gonna help. Like, my mouth is salivating, having flashbacks, so I gotta distract myself. Okay, that feels better. I had to just chew some gum for a few seconds. So yeah, that was the worst part indeed. But afterwards I called my dad and I was like, yep, it happened. He was like, oh well, congratulations. So then my mom arrived, I think about an hour after, and I told her I finally pooped for the first time. She was like, for the first time? I was like, I know, but I was so excited to see her. I was like, oh, I wish my dad was here as well, but we talked to him the entire time, and they're so cute because they're never apart from each other, and it was just so weird seeing them in separate places. I was like, of course I was thankful my mom is there, but we're both like, where's he at? I was like, you're gonna miss your wife so much, oh my gosh. But yeah, my parents, they always support me without a doubt, and I'm so glad my mom was there because I underestimated the recovery. I absolutely did. So my mom was there. We caught up as if we didn't talk every single day. Talked to my dad as well, and then we went to bed, I think by midnight, maybe 11, maybe I went by midnight. And let me tell you, I did not sleep through the entire night because I was waking up to go poop. I pooped so much, I got nauseous. I set my alarm for I think like 4:30, but I decided to lay down until like 5:15 because I was nauseous. My mom, she woke up. She was like, Jazz, I was like, hey, yeah, I'm up. It's just I was pooping all night, so I'm so nauseous. She was like, oh, no, really? I was like, yeah, but listen, this bowel is clear. It's so clear. She said, I know that's right. So I was so excited about that for sure. So I went ahead, got up, got dressed and everything. I was not allowed to drink or eat anything the morning of. Not eating anything was not an issue at all. It's not having my morning water. I was like, oh my gosh, let's hurry up. Let's get there. So I got dressed, went up to the hospital. Everything went smoothly, very organized. Again, if you're in South Florida, you need a hospital, you're trying to figure out where to go, let me know. I got you. Everything went smoothly, checked in, went to the billing department, put my payment down. And did you guys know hospitals will not provide you with, well, at least that hospital did not provide me with documentation of the bill right away. I was like, oh, can you go ahead and email it? She was like, oh, actually, no, we have to mail it to you. I was like, what? Mail it to me? I'm right here. She goes, I know, it's awkward. I know, but yeah, no, we can't. I was like, well, can I have a peek of it? I wanted it right away so I can submit through the third party again to get financial assistance, Did I tell you guys I was laid off 2 days after returning from medical leave? I was so annoyed because I haven't even received that bill to submit it anyway. So anyhow, I wanted to submit something to get some financial assistance. But anyhow, yeah, I couldn't. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I was able to, I just put the payment down. And then we were led to the surgical floor, well, the waiting room. And so it wasn't a long wait at all. Well, in the waiting room, it wasn't a long wait. They took me to the back, and for me to get undressed, get my IV. It was the first time getting my IV and everything. The first time in a hospital bed. I had the cap on, I had the gown. My period was on. So I asked the RN, I said, my period is on. I know you want me to get fully undressed, my underwear, anything. She said, no, you can keep the pad between your legs, and we'll also put a pad down there, and they'll just remove everything. And I was like, she's like, I know they're doctors. It's okay. She goes, they're doctors. It's surgeons as well. It's okay. So I was like, all right. So while I was in the back, my friend Shania, she arrived. I had already given her my mom's telephone number, and they were so cute out there. So my mom came in the back first to see me and sit with me for a bit, just to, talk to me, be there, and make sure I was okay. I told her I was like, I'm fine. My heart rate is normal. It's not racing. But you know what she did to make sure I wasn't lying? She immediately, without hesitating or hiding it, looks up. She was like, oh, it is. I was like, I'm chilling. I'm here. So I wasn't nervous. I wasn't concerned. I was in disbelief though. I was thinking like, damn, Jassy, baby girl, you're really in the hospital. Like, girl, you about to have a surgery? You have an IV in my hand. I was holding it so carefully. I was just like, when my mom or Shania would reach to hug me, I was like, okay, be careful. I got an IV. They're like, girl, we see. It was so hilarious. And yeah, then my mom, she was just letting me know. She spoke to my dad, updated him about everything. I was able to talk to him as well. And then she left for a bit so Shania could come to the back. And Shania read me the most beautiful prayer. And she read it to my mom as well. Let me see. I know I still have it in my phone. I was going to read it, but I already feel myself getting emotional. So I'm not going to read it to you all. I'll just put it on the screen. I found it. Yes, it's a beautiful prayer. Angel warriors. Under it, it has, well, yeah, I'll put it there. Angel warriors. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Psalm 34:7. Chapter 34, verse 7. It's really short. I can read it. Dear Father, it's comforting to know your angels set up camp around me. I know they're protecting me, but they... Okay, I'll just put it on the screen. I'm not gonna read it to you guys, but it was just the sweetest thing ever. And why it also made me emotional, aside from the fact that, you know, she's reading me a prayer, like to have friends like that, but also because it was just so on topic to what my mom and I was talking about earlier. I think it was in the car, you know, believing in angels, experiencing angels, and, you know, having them in our lives. So when she started reading that, I was just like, complete chills. And I said, have you read that to my mom? She said, no. I said, please do, because it's just so on topic of what we were discussing earlier. And it's just like, oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And as you can tell, it still makes me emotional, but in a very positive way. Like, God brings these people into your lives, and you're a reflection of you, you know, a reflection of who you are. And so my mom being able to meet Shania, you know, it's like, oh wow, like this is someone in her life like this. Again, it's a reflection of your daughter and the energy that she attracts. So it's just, I won't cry on camera, but I will say this very calmly so I don't cry. I love you, Shania. Love you, girl. Love you, girl. Anyhow, I'm dry my eyeballs a little bit. Where are we next? Yeah. So, and by the way, my mom and Shania had so much freaking fun in the waiting room. They had so much fun together, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad they did. Okay, so my mom and Shania, they switched. Shania's now back in the waiting room. I'm in the back. Of course, I'm in the back. My mom's back in the waiting. I don't know. She's in the back with me. And now that waiting time was long. I think I was back there for like 2.5 or 3 hours. I was up back there for a long time. So my mom, I asked her to film my video so I can vlog. She's like, Jazz, I was like, Mom, I'm a YouTuber, girl. I gotta get this content, girl. And so she did. And while we were filming, this handsome anesthesiologist came at the foot of my bed. And I was like, hey. And he was like, hey. And he was like, what's up? And I was like, hi. And he was like, hey. And I was like, it so didn't go like that. He was like, hey, how are you? I was like, you see me take a double take on actually, I'm gonna put it there. I think I still have the video. If I don't, then sorry, you guys. But you see me do a double take. And so he goes, hey, how are you? I was like, I'm great. And my mom, she's sitting there. She's like, freaking pearly whites going on over here. But anyhow, he was just, he checked in to introduce himself, make sure I didn't have anything removable in my mouth, no retainers or anything at all. I was like, no, just these Tooth Gems by Sebastian Dental Spa. I'm always plug Sebastian Dental Spa whenever I can, however I can, because Dr. Joseph is the absolute best. And so he explained everything, how it would go, and he left. My mom was like, what was that? I was just like, girl, it's hospital bag. And so he was the assistant to the lead anesthesiologist. And then the lead came over, introduced himself and everyone else. Then I was able to talk to the surgeon over the phone because there was one consent form I did not sign, and that's because the RN actually explained it incorrectly. I was reading it, and there was one word that threw me off, and when she was explaining it, I was like, no, that's not what we discussed. I want to speak to my doctor before I sign this. And so when I was talking to him, they put him on speakerphone. They handed me the phone, and I was able to put him on speakerphone because she was standing there, and I wanted to make sure. And I said, yeah, but it was explained to me that my left ovary would be removed. He said, absolutely not at all. You know, we did the ultrasound and this, and I explained what word. He goes, no, that word is I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly. Basically resetting the ovary, not a resuction of it, if I have the verbiage correctly. I said, that's it. I said, now that makes sense. He goes, yeah, don't know why that was explained to you, because it's not the case at all. And so everyone was right there. I had my surgeon on the phone, the surgeon assistant to the surgeon assistant, the anesthesiologist, the lead anesthesiologist, my mom, and the RN who led me to the back. And so my mom was laughing about it later, teasing my dad. She said, listen, Jazzy had the team there. I was like, cause y'all say I'm the point man, then I'm gonna show them what the point man is, okay? I was like, all right, bet. And so after I was like, okay, thank you so much. He was like, all right, so you ready? I'll see you in a few. I was like, abso-freaking-lutely. He said, okay, girl, you got this. And that was it. And so I was like, okay, perfect. And everyone, they were like, okay, you feel better? I was like, absolutely. I needed to hear him to, explain, because what was mentioned earlier was not correct. And I wasn't going to say, well, she told me my ovary was going to be I wasn't gonna do that because listen, I was about to be under anesthesiologist. I didn't know where she was gonna be. She had power, basically, you know? So I was like, all right, play chess, Jazzy, baby, rain calm. But in my mind, I was like, yeah, I knew that wasn't it. I told you were wrong, girl. Try me if you want to. Everyone dispersed. Shortly after, the anesthesiologist hottie, that's Anesthehottie. Yeah, the anesthesiologist came over. He said, okay, so I'm just gonna give you a little bit. I was like, what's this? My mom said, you're about to go to sleep. I was like, oh. He goes, no, not yet. This is just something to relax you. Think of it as tequila. If you guys heard me in the vlog, I said, oh, tequila's my favorite. And so it definitely relaxed me, and he rolled me to the back. I was like, see you, Mom. She was like, take care of my sugar. And so we're just rolling through, and I see the RN. I was like, well, I see you after, because in my mind, I really want to know what the fuck you gonna be at, because you be saying wrong stuff. She was like, no, you probably won't. I'll be out here. I was like, oh, okay. And in my mind, I was like, hell yeah, you better be. Anyhow, so he rolls me to the back, to the surgery room, and I see everything. I was like, damn, I wish I had my phone, you know? But I see everything, and I saw the Da Vinci, and you know, they rolled me into my spot, and the lead anesthesiologist is there. He said, okay, you ready for a nap? I was like, all right, let's do it. He goes, okay, I'm gonna start injecting now. He did, and I said, holy guacamole, and I went to sleep. I absolutely remember that. And so next thing you know, I was waking up. I was already awake in the recovery room before I actually opened my eyes. And so once I did, I saw my hair, because my hair was like this. I saw my hair, and I said, did I take my cap off? And the RN, this is a different RN now. This RN's a male. He goes, oh no, I took it off for you so you can look more presentable. I said, oh, hey. I was like, wow, that was the greatest nap ever. And then he was like, yeah, and then I was just like, he goes, you want me to go get your mom and friend? I was like, yeah, for sure. And so I was just, you know, I'm sitting there, and I was dozing back off a bit, and then I grabbed my phone because I took a picture right away. I said I would only show, Fendi would be the only one to see that picture, but I gotta show y'all because, you know, I still had a little drool right there. I was like, what in the world? And then I took a better picture and sent it to everyone else and sent it to Fendi again. I said, Fendi, unsee that first picture, girl. So when my mom and Shania got to the back, they said, look at her, already on her phone. I was like, hi, you guys. I was like, greatest snap ever. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we talked for a bit. They asked how I felt. And I think my first question was, do I have a pad on? Because, you know, in my mind, like, my period's still on. And so they had a pad under me, but it was like high up on my back. So my mom pulled it down a bit. And then they gave me a pad to put on. And then my parents and my mom and Shania, they left, and I requested to get dressed alone so I can focus on any pain or discomfort that I was feeling. So the RN said, okay, I'll be right here. If you fall, you are not leaving this hospital. I was like, all right, bet, like, no problem, you know? And so I was able to get dressed easily. I didn't feel any pain at all, just the soreness, my guy. Oh my gosh. I underestimated that soreness, without a doubt. I absolutely did. And so I was able to get dressed. I just needed help because the IV was in my hand. So he came in, he asked how I felt. He said, okay, he was looking at me, making sure I wasn't dizzy, put me in the wheelchair so I can go use the bathroom. And he said, do not unlock the door, because if you fall, I need to be able to get in there and help you up and get you out. And again, you won't be leaving this hospital. I said, yeah, no problem. So I went in, I was using the bathroom, y'all. It was like this. I had to be so careful. I was like, but look, I couldn't even actually bend like this. So I was more like that, like on my tiptoes. So I was just like, oh my freaking goodness. But yeah, I was able to use the bathroom. No pain or anything. And I was wondering if that would be pain, because they had don't know that word, but one of those. I knew it would be attached, but it wasn't still attached. I just knew it would be during the surgery because it was explained to me. And yeah, I was able to pee, and I came out. I was like, I didn't do it as enthusiastic. It was just like very slowly. He's like, all right, great. It's like, okay, well, you can go. And so I got back in the wheelchair. He rolled me out. Shania drove us home, helped us out. She's so cute. She got me white flowers. When we arrived back to my place, the home chef box that LaToya sent over, already there, so my mom could cook for me. Well, I already had some meal prep in the fridge for us, but so she can cook for me and have food prepared for once she left. And so we went to CVS to get my prescription, which were Percocets. Listen, I talked so much trash about Percocets because I wasn't feeling anything, but listen, well, let me tell you, I didn't feel any surgical pain at all because I was on top of the pain meds for sure. My prescription was ready within like an hour and a half of me arriving back home. My mom got that for me and bang, I took them. I was like, nah, staying on top. And I'm glad I did because like how sore I was, I can only imagine how intense the pain was. So anyhow, I was talking hella crap about Percocets. Like, why are people addicted to Percocets? Like, I don't even feel anything at all. But let me tell you, on that, on the third day, I started feeling the Percs because the surgical pain was subsiding. So now the power of the Percs, they had nowhere to go. So they were going up here and oh my gosh. I should get my mom. Let me see, what time is it?
Good morning.
Good morning, Mom. How are you?
Yeah, so when she got the Percocets, she was taking them. I don't know what the big deal is. They're not bothering me. I'm good. I'm okay. Okay, fine. The Percocets did not hit her for like 2 or 3 days, and then suddenly she looks over at me, wild as hell. Mom, I think I'm lit. I was like, oh, okay. And, continue on. The next thing I know, she's in the pillows, knocked out. I was like, wow. So, yeah, they hit her 2 or 3 days later. It was funny as hell. Mommy, I'm lit.
Yep. Oh, that is so funny. Thanks, Mom, because I was talking to the people. I still am on camera. I said, you know what? Let me call my mom to see. I was like, y'all, it hit me. Like, gone off the Percs. Oh.
Yeah. You look wild as hell for real.
Yeah. So there you go. The Percocets had your girl lit, okay? So that first day the Percocets hit me and just like shot me through the roof, basically. I took the longest nap ever. And then when I woke up from my nap, my mom looked, she said, well, now you look like you had surgery. I look bad. Oh, I forgot to tell you all, when I got home from my surgery, Shania, Jessica, and Fendi came to visit. They were so freaking sweet. Anyhow, so I said, you know what? When it's time for me to take the Percs again, I'm not taking 2. I decided to take 1. So the next day, my mom left. I was so sad. I didn't vlog that day at all. But so the next day I made an executive decision to come off the Percs because the 1 Perc alone still hit me pretty intensely. So I took the ibuprofen instead. I took 2 and I was perfectly fine. Absolutely was. And I was nervous though because I'm like, I don't want to feel any pain. I'm still sore. And so I did that thing though. I was like, I know that's right. Like, executive decision made. Let's see, what else am I missing? On the 3rd day, why am I looking up as if I don't have a timeline here? Let's see. When I pooped for the first time, that was easy breezy as well. I was nervous because again, I was like, oh, it's gonna hurt more. My nerves that came during the recovery process was all from, oh my God, what if this happened? What if that happens? It was all what ifs in my head. So I could have pooped sooner because I pooped on like the 3rd or 4th day, the day before my mom left. And that's what made her okay with leaving. Both of us like, okay, everything that she was supposed to do by this day has been done. The rest is just her relaxing, right? And so when I pooped on the 3rd day, but I could have pooped sooner, but I was nervous, so I squeezed my butt to make myself not poop. I said, okay, I'm gonna take a laxative so there's not a solid that comes out. But by the time I pooped, it was just ready and I could not take a laxative or anything else. So I did, and I sat down slowly and I was just like, oh Lord, but easy breezy. easy breezy, without a doubt. No struggle, no issues pushing or anything at all. And I was so glad I finally pooped because it helped relieve the gas in my belly so much. I didn't take any gas eggs or gas relief to help with the gas from the surgery because I was already on Percocets, taking ibuprofen, had, you know, the medications from the surgery, my antibiotics prior to the surgery. So I was like, you know what? I just want something to be done naturally. So I made that decision to allow the gas to release naturally. And it took about 3 weeks for me to feel back to normal and be able to, you know, to be able to, not twist, but to sit down without feeling any extra pressure from the gas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about literally twisting because I was still sore. I was sore for weeks. But just the gas, you know how it feels when you're just overly full? That's how it was for many days. And so if you sit and you have gas, you just feel like there's a lump somewhere on your belly. But once it started relieving, it was just like, oh, I was able to just, you know, sit more, like, although I don't slouch like this, I was able to do that because it was relieving more and more. And so that was really awesome indeed. So the soreness and the gas, those were the two, and the Percocets hitting me, those were the three major, I don't even call them issues, but major parts of the recovery that major hills of my recovery that I had to cross over. So throughout the entire recovery, I kept track of my updates. I would post recovery days on Instagram because it was the quickest way I could communicate with everyone. I received many phone calls as well. My brother, sister-in-law, and baby, they sent me flowers. My cousin and aunt sent me flowers. You guys know Shania gave me flowers as well. Jessica gave me a lovely recovery kit. And let me tell you, the socks she put in that recovery kit. You guys, the socks are so great. I don't ever want to wear any other pairs of socks ever. These socks are so amazing. I'm gonna put the brand on here for you guys, but I told her in the screenshot, I hit her up, I said, girl, these socks, like, usually I like to get into bed with my socks, but I'll take them off immediately. These socks, I like to keep them on all night. They're aloe infused, and it's just fan-freaking-tastic, okay? Just fan-freaking-tastic. Like, oh my gosh. And my parents, I told you guys multiple times how supportive they were, and I know if I needed them back down here, they would have been here with the quickness, without a doubt. And I'm just thankful for everything. My most memorable, oh, my baby cousin. Oh, my baby cousin, he always checked in on me, and even if he missed a text message and saw an update on Instagram, he'll hit me up, Thug, what's the update? How are you doing? I know you posted, you know, whatever on Instagram, but I need that real detailed update. And that's why I love my baby cousin so much. He always supports me all the time. And my siblings stayed in contact as well. And so it was just really awesome. My most memorable moment of my recovery is when I was able to get down and pray. Oh my gosh, I could cry again just thinking about it. Because, you know, since the night of my surgery, I was praying while standing before getting into bed or just sitting up in bed. And so this, like, one particular night, I stood up to pray at the, you know, the side of my bed, and something told me, like, go ahead and get down, you'll be okay. And I hadn't been down on my knees at all. I've squatted down to, like, get something from my bathroom, but that was before I knew it, when my mom was still there, because when I did, I looked, I said, Mom. She was like, oh. She was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I just kind of did it before I knew it. And she was like, you need some help? I was like, I'm going to try to get up, right? And so, but this time, you know, I just heard, like, get down, you'll be okay. And so bong, one knee, bong, second knee. And I cried, and I couldn't even fully pray. I was just thanking sweet baby Jesus over and over again. And it's just, you know, something so minor that I never considered was now such a powerful moment, you know. And that's when I realized there's a privilege in being able to move your body freely, you know, because never had I ever been in a state where I just medically could not do something. And for the first time I was, and if you follow me on my Instagram stories, you know I always wake up, move your bodies, do this and that. But this is now, it's Do it because you're blessed to do so. Do it because it's a privilege. Do it because you have the ability. Do it because you have every ounce and strength of your body to do better, you know? And so it was just such a great moment. And I just thinking about it, just like I want to cry. And then I also have this huge smile on my face. It was great. And in that prayer, I could only thank sweet baby Jesus. That's all I could do. It was great. I was just like, oh my gosh. Because then, you know, I'm also thinking about the nights when I just got in bed because I didn't feel like getting down on my knees. I'm like, oh, let me just pray in bed, or let me just pray in the shower so I can just get straight into bed. Like, but no, I'm like, no, that will not be accepted. Again, Jazzy baby, not at all. You get down on your knees because you can. It's a privilege. You can do it. And so many people cannot do it. And you've experienced not having the ability to do that. So take advantage of it, without a doubt. That's what I kept telling myself. That's what I keep telling myself. And that's what I'm also telling you. So don't forget that. You can move your body, walk, run, work out, get on your knees and pray. Get on your knees and, you know, meditate. Whatever you do to connect with your higher power, with yourself, you do that. Do it. Take advantage of it, because the day you can't do it, it's going to be mind-blowing. It absolutely will. Guys, my camera died. So I'm using my phone right now. I have my camera battery charging, but I don't feel like waiting because I'm in my groove. But let me tell you, if this quality looks better on my iPhone than my camera, I am going to be so annoyed. I'm going to go upgrade my iPhone today. I think I'm on like the 13 Pro. I don't even know what number iPhone we're on right now. But if this looks better than my camera, I'm going to be tight. I am. You guys, I'm afraid it looks better on my iPhone. I have a Canon EOS. The lens is EFN 1545 millimeters. I've had this for like pre-pandemic. Yeah. Anyhow, let me get to it while my camera battery is charging. So yeah, that was the most powerful moment of my recovery, and I'm still so blessed and so thankful for it all. And just thinking about it, I'm still like, just freaking amazing. Now, let's get into my first post-op. So my first post-op, fun fact, I had no idea I was supposed to call the office to schedule my post-op the day I was leaving the hospital. I called them like 2 weeks after, like, hey, what's my post-op going on? But so I had my post-op, everything went well. They didn't check the tissues or anything. They just looked at the incisions physically to make sure those were healing properly. My skin tape was still on, nothing had fallen off. They also wanted to make sure I was, you know, walking okay, doing everything I was supposed to do, and I absolutely was. And the surgeon, he asked how I felt with the anesthesia in the recovery room, how long I was there. And I told him, I was like, no, like I was fine. And he told me his experience being under anesthesia as well. He was really nice. And he advised me to call my gynecologist. He said they're updated on everything, but if you want to call them as well, so they can hear how you're feeling, that's absolutely okay. And he told me I would have a second post-op, and that would be my vaginal exam. And he told me if you prefer, you know, to go back to your doctor and have it with them, that's perfectly fine. It's like, no, you did my surgery, so I'm going to come back here. He goes, okay, that's fine. I'll tell the girls up front, we'll get you scheduled. And so I said, hey, so I basically have 2 gynecologists now, huh? And then he turns back and looks at me like this. He said, yeah, I'm your backup quarterback. And y'all know I love football. So I was like, he like just hugs my heart without even knowing. I was like, I love football. He was like, yeah, who's your team? I said Eagles. He was like, girl, that's 5 games. I was like, his team is the Bills. So it was really awesome. That touched my soul. So we scheduled the appointment for my second post-op, and I was still, you know, not cleared to do any physical activity, walking only. And he said, well, let's say you just can't take it and you absolutely have to work out or run. If you feel something pulling, you should stop. I was like, oh, don't worry. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it all. He goes, yeah, good. So that was awesome. So I also received my clearance for work. So I returned to work January 17th, the day after MLK Day. Jazzy Babe was laid off 2 days after that. I'll do a separate vlog about that, but your girl was laid off 2 days after returning online for medical leave because I worked remotely. That's that. So because I was laid off, I was now on a timer of still having my health insurance. So I called the doctor's office and asked if we can move up my second post-op. I was going to be losing my insurance. They said, yeah, perfectly fine. They got me in on the last day of the month of January. They said, we only have this available for 8 o'clock. We can get you in. Is that not too early for you? We know you live, a bit further south. I was like, nope, not at all. I'll be there. I'll be there before you. I'll clock in with y'all. I was like, I'm going to be there. And I was. So because I had to move up my appointment was with the nurse practitioner. And she was so kind. I'd seen her around the office a few times, but never actually spoke with her, interacted with her, anything at all. She really made me crack up, okay? So when she walked in, she introduces herself, and then she looks at me like, she said, what'd you do in high school? I was like, high school? What? She said, yeah, what'd you do in high school? I was like, high school? What do you mean? Like, what I studied? General study? She said, no, like what sports did you play or anything? And so I told her, well, I've always been a runner. I've always enjoyed being active. I just love working out. It feels good. I love to feel myself getting stronger. She said, oh, okay. And she's still looking at me like with half confusion and another half like, that's what it is, like, aha. And so she was explaining my results, from the surgery and everything. And mind you, I already received that paperwork during my initial post-op with the surgeon, but she was just going through everything again because it was her first time seeing me. And long story short, what she saw, my size, was not what she expected going by the paperwork because of the amount of endometrial tissue that was found. Now, for those of you who do not know, endometriosis is an overgrowth of tissue that can cause pain. So not only was I feeling pressure from the cyst, I was actually feeling my endometriosis, and the amount that was found, she was completely shocked by it. And she explained endometriosis doesn't just grow overnight or within a few months. If you have endometrial tissue, it's something you're born with. And she went into explaining that my running had been suppressing my endometriosis for years, and I was completely unaware of it. And that made total sense because the end of 2022 and 2023, I focused on weight training more than my cardio because I wanted to build my leg muscles more to help me run further and quicker. So I was definitely running less mileage than usual. So I was sitting there like, oh, that makes sense. Like everything was just connecting. And so, I forgot to tell you all, during my first post-op, I was prescribed to birth control, and that was expected. Through my research, I saw birth control as always the solution that is given to patients to help suppress the endometriosis by making the period disappear. And the period disappears because birth control, it does whatever with your hormones, and that's how you end up not having a period. And so endometriosis and the tissue, it inflames during your period because of the hormones and the different things of the body and the amazing vagina and all that jazz. So many medical terms that have now vanished from my head that I knew so much more back in January. But that's just a briefing of it. You can research it. Maybe I'll link some articles that I found. But yeah, and so then she got into, okay, you're always active running. She said, okay, what birth control were you on before? I was like, no, this is before I got into telling her about my weight training. I said, no, I never taken birth control. She goes, you never taken birth control before? I'm saying, no. My first time taking birth control was a couple weeks ago when I received it from here. And she was just like, wow, this is unbelievable. She said, you're running and your fitness was really suppressing your endometriosis. That's amazing. And then I told her the differences that I did with my fitness, and it was just all like, oh my God, the puzzle's coming together. And she said, just by this, I honestly don't think you need to be on birth control until you decide to have kids. It honestly sounds as if you can do birth control for a year. As long as you keep up with your physical activity, you can continue to suppress your endometriosis because you had a lot of endometrial tissue. And FYI, you guys, endometriosis can never be confirmed until they're inside of you looking with the camera and have to scrape it off. So that's that. I was just like, wow. And she shared a beautiful moment with me. She said she has been torn between She said her heart and soul have been torn between traditional medicine and holistic medicine. So for her to walk in and see me, and she's like, "What'd you do?" Like, I was just totally unexpected. She said, if I have a patient with, your paperwork, I come in automatically as someone who, is overweight, and I'll tell them right away, start walking, start doing something, like have physical activity. She said, so when I walk in and saw you, you're the complete opposite of what I expected. And I'm just like, what were you doing before? Like, what caused this to happen now? And so it was just great for her to share that moment with me, and she was just, looking in disbelief. So we did our vaginal exam, and that went really well. Again, she set me up on the screen so I can see everything, and the tissues were healing properly, and it was just awesome. She told me take that birth control on time. It's going to take about 3 months for your body to adjust to it. And so far, it's been going really well. I haven't felt any, mood swings or crazy sweats throughout the day. I have had a few hot sweats through the night, but I've always had night sweats sometimes. They'll always be like random moments, but I had them, I think last month, maybe 3 times out of the month, but it was like 3 consecutive days, and then bang, I haven't had any at all. So that's something else that I always keep track of. And ironically, by the way, my period's actually on right now. It's the breakthrough bleeding when you're on the white pills. If you take a little estrogen, because it did that last month. And so now again this month, when I take a deep breath, I just feel a little inflammation, but it's nothing, that's discomforting at all. And so next month, my body should be by the end of next month, the next end of the packet, my body should be fully adjusted, and then I'll be able to see those differences and supposedly not have a period at all, because right now it's extremely light. I just have on one of the liners, and I wore the liner yesterday. Well, not the finer liner, but I wore a liner yesterday as well, and it was perfectly fine. Didn't need to change to a larger pad or a thicker pad at all. I was just using that same type of liner throughout the day, and I think I only changed it like 3 times. Now, I told you all this. Okay, now also during my second post-op, I was cleared for running, light weights, but no yoga. Now, I actually expected to be cleared for yoga before weight training, but she explained the bending, the twisting, the inversions, anything too drastic with my core. Absolutely not. She said, don't even do crunches. I said, I don't do crunches anyway. If you know me, you know I always say crunches are for bitches. But no offense to anyone, it's really a joke. But I was just like, so you guys, I have not practiced yoga since like December 22nd, and it's tough. It's tough. So I've done, I've been stretching. Stretching is different from yoga, because when you're stretching, you're focused on one muscle group. With yoga, it's more internal work, internal movement. And as much as I love yoga, I don't even trust myself doing a basic class without, getting lost in it and then just drastically going for, my usual practice. So it's going to be interesting for sure. Let's see. I went for my first run February 15th. But a few days before that, I did a minor workout, just like in place running, a few like stone hops. And let me tell you, I was like, that really checked myself, because I said, oh girl, you really have to get back in shape. I've never gone, a month, 2 months, heck. What was that, like 2.5 months? I've never gone that long without working out, you guys. So it was really a change for me, for sure. So I had to do that minor workout to really prep myself. And so February 15th, I went for my first run, and it was intense. It was. And I was like, okay, again, all right, you are out of shape. Like, you have to, this is new for the first time in years. This is feeling new to you, And so I went for another run, and that one was better than a third run, and I'm already progressing, and I feel a difference in my breathing, my body, definitely my appetite. My appetite's back, baby. Appetite is back without a doubt at all, and I'm just like, whew, I was definitely have to get back into my meal prepping, and I started that last night. I was using Home Fresh. Fresh Kitchen, Nutri Meals, and Nutri Meals contacted me. I was like, actually, it's perfect timing. I can try out these meals because I don't have the energy to meal prep yet, but energy's back, appetite is back. I started meal prepping last night. Now I just need to cook my chicken and be all set. So the appetite is back for sure. So I'll keep you guys updated by how the running goes, because it's just, you know, it's different. It definitely is, because I'm keeping in mind, okay, do you feel anything? Do you feel discomfort? So these days I'm really focused on my cadence and working on the short strides of it. And the first day I tried that, I felt a significant difference, and I was just super hyped about that. I was like, okay, a short cadence, that's working, but that'll be a separate video. I don't want to go into that part too much longer. So March 25th, that's going to be a Monday, the day before my actual birthday. You guys know March is my entire birthday, but my actual date of birth is Tuesday, March 26th. I expect to be, well, not expect, I will be cleared for yoga the day before, and I'm super excited about that. I have not practiced yoga since December, and it feels so weird. So just seeing how my body is now readjusting to running, seeing and feeling how my body's going to react to getting back into yoga is going to be very interesting indeed, because yoga, you know, it really kept me fit and trimmed and helped with my muscle groups a lot. So just being able to get back into that, get it back into the flow and getting back into the regular practice of things is going to be really awesome. I'm excited to go back to the studio, get back into hot yoga. I'm going to start with some basic classes just to, you know, get back into the groove, and I'll let you all know when I start doing my inversions again and my headstands, my handstands. I don't know. I haven't done a cartwheel since, you know, December. No round offs, no anything, no jump handstand. I haven't done anything. So as a very physical person, and this has been a long wait for me, but I made sure I stayed patient and did everything that I was supposed to do, because the worst thing, and I would have just regretted this so much, and I would have really beat myself up about this if I would have injured myself by trying to move so quickly. So I had so many people saying, take your time, don't do this. I'm like, listen, as much as I love working out, you guys really think I'm going to risk working out again too soon to possibly not being able to work out even longer? I was like, no, that's freaking ignorant. Do you know me or do you not know me? Like, even my reaction to it again is still has been like, do you really think I'm going to try to speed up this process? Like, no, that goes against everything I believe in and advocate about. So not at all. So once I get back into my flow of everything completely, I'll be sure to let you all know, and follow me on Instagram, because that's where my daily updates are, and the YouTube shorts as well. I'll put them up on here. So now we are on, you guys, I think I'm through my checklist. I don't know. Hold on. Told you all about the run, beach workouts coming up, yoga, birthday. And by the way, I haven't felt anything off or weird with my runs at all. It just feels great. I was freaking, oh my God, I was so sore after my first run, which was not even 4 miles. It was like 3.78 miles. I was so sore. When I told my mom, she was like, you were sore after running? I was like, I know, that's so unusual for me. Anything under 6 miles, I can run without being sore. So being sore from 3.7, I was like, what is that? Don't like it, not at all. But I think this is it, you guys. I think I got through it all. I told you I was laid off 2 days after. This is gonna be a separate video. Yeah, hell yeah, y'all. I was laid off. Crazy, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I think we've gotten through everything. Yeah. Today is my 74th day of my recovery, and I'm hella thankful. I'm blessed. I'm so happy. You know, I absolutely am. I have no idea what I'm doing the actual day of my birthday. This is my first year not traveling for my birthday, and I decided to not travel because I didn't want to travel without being 100% medically cleared, you know. I ain't even cleared for yoga, and so with that alone, I wouldn't be able to be adventurous as I usually am. I wouldn't be as comfortable with being as adventurous, knowing, hey, I'm not even cleared for yoga, because the incisions, I don't even think I got into why I'm not cleared for yoga. The incisions actually take a full 90 days to heal, because, you know, although it's okay externally, internally, they can still like split apart. Sounds very disgusting. I know, I was like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I wasn't comfortable traveling knowing that, and just I know how I am when I usually travel, and when I travel again, I want to make sure that I'm fully healed, fully recovered, and fully comfortable, mentally stable, emotionally and physically okay. That's what it's all about, without a doubt. But yeah, it's the 74th day of my recovery. Everything is still going well. I'm gonna finish my meal prepping today. Get this video to you all the same freaking day. It's Saturday. I'm filming this right now. I wanted to make sure I gave you all a live update. My third and final video of my surgery series will more than likely be, what is this? It's the 9th? Will more than likely be a couple weeks for the week. It will be after my birthday for sure. Quite possibly April, because, well, no. Well, yeah, because I wanted to give you all, okay, it will be after my birthday because I want to be able to include a yoga update in that for you all. So it will for sure be after my birthday, definitely before April 1st. And that video will be the frequently asked questions that I've received through this entire process. I'll give you all screenshots of the questions I received directly from social media. Of course, I'll be blocking out the names of the users as well. I don't want anyone to be exposed, because I've had quite a few women reach out to me who have the surgery coming up. Surprisingly, I've had even more men contact me about their girlfriends, their wives, who, you know, have been experiencing this and that, and they had a pap smear. And so I had to explain to a few men that, well, that won't be discovered doing a pap smear. A pap smear is to, you know, check for any cervical changes, you know, cancerous cells, is put it off the testing, STD test, but you can't discover a cyst during a pap smear, you know. So that will be in the following episode of my surgery series. But as always, I wish I had my chapstick in here because my lips are dry. But, and my water bottle's holding up my phone so I can't get a drink of water. I don't want to risk displacing the camera if I were to remove it. But that's it, you all. So thank you so much for your time. As always, it's greatly appreciated. If you have an upcoming surgery, don't stress about it at all. Reach out to your higher power. Make sure you believe in it. Make sure you believe in yourself. Make sure you believe in your doctors, your medical teams, because if you don't, if you have any bit of worry, be sure to acknowledge that. Ask all the questions, acknowledge all the confusion, because that's absolutely what I did. So thank you so much for your time. And remember, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, or you can contact me directly on my website, xojrwellness.com/contact. Ciao. The camera was kind of too far for me to blow you guys a kiss. You guys, I forgot to mention one thing because it's so recent. So have I shared this with YouTube yet? I need to start doing vlogs with you guys. I'm gonna do that because I'm like, have I told you guys this? Have I told you guys this? You know, I model, but I've been getting into acting as well. Anyhow, so I submitted for an upcoming music video, which is going to be a reenactment of a movie. I don't want to tell you the movie because I don't think I'm allowed to, and if I don't think I'm allowed to, that pretty sure means that I shouldn't do it. But it's a reenactment of a movie. So a part of the callback, I received a callback. I had to submit 3 different casting videos. One of them was a pool party reenacting a dance scene, and it was my first time in a swimmy since, well, not my first time because I've been hanging out by the pool like every day, but my first time like submitting in a swimmy since my surgery. And oh my God, not seeing my abs, and I was like, oh my God, I look much less muscular than before. It's just not used to it, you know, not used to my flat belly. And now that I'm thinking about it, because my period's on, maybe I was just bloated, because I was like, my belly hasn't been looking like this, you know. So it's just all an interesting process. It is for sure, you know, seeing what you're used to, what you're not used to. And I have taken, well, I plan to take before and after pictures. The before pictures will be now within this week. The after pictures, maybe it'll be for April 1st to give you all a full visual, but I am going to take weekly pictures, you know, so that's what I should have started with. I do plan to take before and after pictures, but in between, I'm going to take weekly pictures as well to show the progress with y'all, because right now I'm just running. I'm not even doing body workouts or anything. That won't be until next week. I wanted to make sure I took a full month of running before adding anything else in. You know, I want to take this gradually because I'm going to be in the best shape ever. I was in great shape before, but next, baby, we're top fucking tier. You hear me? All the way, without a doubt. So I'm really done this time. Thank you all so much as always. Ciao.